The 20 business cards I just handed out here cost me roughly 10 Rand for printing purposes. I usually get one hit out of a crowd like this, so that gives me a 20 Rand hit ratio to the whole thing, and that's exactly what I want to get to. We get bombarded with advertising. They reckon up to 850 ads per day. Right, so advertising is anything. It goes from your Facebook all the way through to all the signboards and everything that you drove past today. I don't know if you can see this one. The oak obviously not recognized. Sorry, just 1 second. There we go. Right, this oak obviously saw the heading is it's a panel beating shop or autoglass, and they reckon headlight alignment our speciality. You can see the little van that went off the road there. So obviously he saw the sign, it worked, and they got the business. So I thought that was quite a clever way of actually doing it. So the trick is where to spend your money, what percentages to spend your money on, and I've been researching a little bit. Every company will change. I mean, there's no company that's exactly the same. So what I've done is just a couple of interesting ways that I've read up on the internet about what actually works. Right. Usually the people say between 4 and 6% of your turnover. So this guy actually did it very cleverly, and Ian, yeah, you'll enjoy this a little bit more. What we've done is they've taken the annual budget into 3 steps. They've taken the 10 to 12% of your annual gross sales, and then they wanted to get to the markup. So what you did then is deduct from the rent these 2 figures. Now the rent comes into play again for some of the big companies, your McDonald's and your mall advertising type of people. They don't have to do the normal type of advertising because they are already in such a prime spot that prime spot is now advertising them again. So that's exactly why this guy went and recalculated everything back to the rental, if that makes sense. So the more rental you're paying, the less advertising you're doing because of your positioning of your business. So, and then just to quickly make it into the sums, then it'll become a little bit more clear. So let's say you do $1 million turnover, your profit margin is 48%, 36. Sorry, I just took this as an example of the internet. 36,000 Rand rent. Sorry, there we go. So your markup went to 92%. Now the 10% works back into the million, so that's 100,000 to 120,000. So your low budget on this would be, there we go. I don't know how to get this thing off. It's not impressed.
Try a different port.
Try a different port. Sorry, it doesn't really matter, but it's just. No, there's no other ports. Let's see if it's happy in that. Oh. No. Help. There we go. There we go. Right, okay. So what they've I love this. Okay, so what they've done is they've taken the low budget on 92,000 Rand and then the high budget on 110,000. Now, if you switch over, no, that didn't work there.
Can I sort it out?
Please, thank you. So what that boils down to is, this made a lot more sense last night when I was doing this. Right.
It's got to appear first.
Right? Okay.
It's got to appear first.
It's got to appear first again.
And now it works.
When you change tabs, it will appear.
It will appear again.
Why don't you go into, just want to see if it'll appear now.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. So on the low budget, these guys have got it on to 92,000 rand. 92,300 rand. Now, if you deduct your 36,000 rand off there, you will get to. Sorry, my sums are leaving me now. But you'll get to roughly about 55,000 rand. If you get to that 55,000 rand mark and you take that back into your million rand turnover, that gives you that 5%, which everyone's getting to. So that's why it was quite clever the way that this guy has actually done it. And even if you take your 110,000 rand then and deduct that 36,000 rand off there, you get to your higher end, which will be roughly about 7.5%. I think it was roughly about 75,000 rand that you'll get off there. And and that's your margin. That's exactly what it was getting to. That 5.5. Never mind. I'm just gonna. It doesn't really matter. So that's where the margins come in on your advertising. Now the average company in South Africa advertises between 1% and 2%. The average American company, up to 4%. That includes companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all the big boys. So that just goes to show how little we actually advertise in our normal budget, if that makes any sense. So yeah, there you can see how the guys get to the whole thing. Like I said, every business is not geared exactly the same, and everyone doesn't have that expensive premises and stuff to work from. But it just makes it a little bit easier calculating more or less what you should be spending on your budget. And 5% of your turnover sounds like a lot of money, but it's just amazing at the input that you get back from that. This 20 rand that I just spent on, or the 10 rand that I just spent on business cards here, and that just puts everything into perspective again. And like I said, if you're competing on 850 different advertisements that hits you every day, you really need to get out there and advertise yourself. Right, now what to spend it on. Internet, social media, signage, flyers, radio ads, everything. You really need to advertise on all these media. I always look at it as a ball with all the dots in it, and you literally need to start hitting all those different dots in the circle. It doesn't mean that social media is going to work for your company. Try it out, see if it works. If it works, go with it. If it doesn't work with you, cut it from your budget and try something else. On the signage side that I'm in, they've done a study up in the US where they've taken a burger franchise, and they did a lot of different tests by adding different hours to. They did a lot of different things with the company and tried to see where the best money went into. And by doing pile-on signage, these big McDonald M's, they actually had a 15% turnover increase. And that just goes to show by investing probably their whole budget for the year into that one signage, they were able to then do a 15% add-on. So next year they don't have to do that pile-on again because it's there. Then they can go to their social medias, or then they can. That's why I'm saying that ball that you've got to keep ticking off. There's just so many different avenues to tick off, and see where your money then gives you your best returns. That's the next point that I just want to make here is if you look at a newspaper ad, I just took this on a 460 once a week type of thing in a newspaper. Let's work on 150 hit ratio. That's about 3 per week. So your hit ratio, that ad costs you 159 Rand per annum. Now, I mean, I don't want to be funny, but that's a lot of money. If you then take it to the website, which is a once-off payment, now that again, the website now becomes the pile-on sign, that's a once-off payment. So the next year, it's only going to be the 150 Rand per month. So if you take, on the first year, your hit ratio, your website's going to cost you 78 Rand. But for the next year, after that, it's going to be roughly about 2,000 Rand. 2,000 Rand divided by your 100 hits is then suddenly going to become 20 Rand. Which then becomes worth it to advertise on your website. And then I took a show stand, for instance, because a lot of people think that a show stand is very expensive. But if you spend your 20,000 Rand on a show stand and you get a 500-person hit rate on that, that's going to bring it down to 40. And out of this whole equation, that's going to be your best way. Now, a lot of people say shows don't work, they don't like shows. But if that's where your money is going to give you, is going to extend your advertising the best, then go with that route. Then I just add a few interesting, again, we've got a few interesting signs that I usually just bring with for the people to just have a look at. That really makes a lot of sense. That's come out there. So I just want to fly through a couple of them here quickly.
That's for dyslexics.
Right, I'm telling you, I was just so impressed with that sign. Just a couple of interesting facts that I was reading on. Some of the cosmetic companies, when they do their budgets on the advertising, they blow up to 20% of their annual turnover on advertising. Now, I mean, and they reckon that figure is also skewed because in the peak months, your Christmas time and stuff, that even goes higher because they don't advertise that, they don't spread that 20% out over the year. So they reckon it goes up to 35% of the turnover in certain months. It's just mind-boggling that you can spend 20% of your turnover going straight into your brand awareness and advertising campaigns. But obviously they need to do it to stay ahead of the race. Coca-Cola started dropping back the market share in advertising about 3 years ago. They said they could put a direct correlation to their drop in sales, not losing market share. They weren't losing to Pepsi or to the other guys. But their sales started dropping because of the advertising campaigns that they actually dropped. They said, listen, we're the biggest in the world. We are now just going to slag a little bit on our advertising. They say they could actually see the graph as they started slowing down their advertising campaigns. Now they've upped it again. In Europe, they've now gone with a new personalized Coke, like My Spa type thing here. You're now going to have a Coke bottle with your name on it. They've gone to 32 different countries and said they want I think they took 50 of the most prominent names in that country and actually put it onto Coke bottles. So, Bill, you will have a Coke bottle with Bill on it in America. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing to think how so now you're literally picking up your own Coke bottle. And it's just amazing at how they have fun with advertising. And I think that's the other thing. You were talking about the purple alligator, how it caught your eye. Have fun with advertising, because if it caught your eye, that means that it's going to catch the next person. And yeah, with the correct marketing team and the correct graphics, I promise you, it can definitely be done. And just a few more funnies just to end off, if the computer will let me go through. Right, so obviously you've got to convey the right message, not like these oaks. Then, like I was saying, have fun with your advertising. I mean, put a naked chick on your billboards if that's what works for you. Obviously, they're getting business from direct sales there. There we go. You really you can't have too much fun with your advertising, but yes. This one says texting while driving kills you, and then at the bottom for more driving tips, text safely to the next number. So it's really you've got to just convey the right message through. There we go. As clear as this one. So buy a bed, one night stand for free. And then there's absolute confusion. I don't know how the square oaks go down this road. And then there's no confusion on this one. Curved yellow fruit. So I mean that was so cute to me. And then this one was quite no confusion there. And then you've got to choose your words. You've got to choose your words correctly. I mean, that was just mind-boggling. And then we're still looking for this beach, but I haven't found the beach yet because apparently the waffles are pretty good.